The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by CPS America, the maker of North America's #1 three-phase string inverter, with over 6 gigawatts shipped in the U.S. The CPS America product lineup includes three-phase string inverters ranging from 25 to 275 kW. Their flagship inverter, the CPS 250-275, is designed to work with solar plants ranging from 2 megawatts to 2 gigawatts. The 250-275 pairs well with CPS America's exceptional data communication, controls, and energy storage solutions. Go to chintpowersystems.com to find out more.
Quality, reliability, or excellence. These words, I feel these are the attitude. So if I want to make anything, so quality is attitude. Manufacturing excellence is attitude. So when it comes to making a solar panels, everyone can make a solar panel. There are around 18 raw materials. You club together, you make a panel.
Are you speeding the energy transition? Here at the Clean Power Hour, our hosts Tim Montague and John Weaver bring you the best in solar, batteries, and clean technologies every week. Want to go deeper into decarbonization? We do too. We're here to help you understand and command the commercial, residential, and utility solar, wind, and storage industries. So let's get to it. Together we can speed the energy transition.
Today on the Clean Power Hour, we're here with Bharat Bhut. He is the founder and director of a solar panel manufacturer called Goldi Solar from India. We're here at RE+. Welcome to the show, Bharat. Really excited to have a solar company on the show. You know, one of the things I notice here at RE+ is there's a lot of solar panel companies, right? It's a very crowded space, and it gets more and more crowded every year. Great. But give us a little background on yourself. How did you get interested in the solar industry, and what's going on at Goldi?
Yes, myself, Bharat Bhut, founder and director at Goldi Solar. If I talk about myself, I have been coming from village. Primary business of my father. My father is a farmer. We used to help in our primary days. We used to help farming, growing food, and I have done my primary education in village at government schools. Then I moved to a city in the urban areas where I have done my schooling, the mid education, and I have been in contact with many business people. We have the relatives, those who do big businesses. With the help of them, I have been able to secure my higher education from London. I've done my business administration honors from University of Greenwich in London. So after I finished my education, I went back to India, and it was my passion to do something out of box. So I have been given opportunity to join our relative business of cutting and polishing of diamond, making a jewelry and selling a diamond jewelry. So this was a traditional business in all people in my city we are doing. So I have been given opportunity, but not going into a traditional diamond, what all my family members are doing, thinking out of the box. I was with one of my friends. We were looking after the new business, diversification. We have tried many businesses, and we have selected the solar panel manufacturing. In 2010-11, we were looking at some new kind of business, and we see the solar manufacturing to be our future business. Why solar manufacturing from a small town in India? Because when we analyze, we need a raw material, and then we process, we make a product. So when we see solar power, there is no raw material. If you want to generate electricity, solar electricity, there is no raw material. So we thought it is a future. Second thought was like we want to be into a sustainable business, and we want to create an enterprise which sustain or which we can take from one generation to another generation. So there are many businesses available, but thinking a very long-term approach, thinking a business or enterprise can go from one generation to another. We entered into solar manufacturing. Why manufacturing? Because our background, was a manufacturing background, and whatever we learned while growing up was all about the manufacturing, growing, cultivating. So with the vision of growing, with the vision of taking approach of out of box, with the vision of doing something new and something different from what other people are doing, we started with small capacity of 10 megawatt in 2011. Our current capacity is 4 gigawatt with fully automatic production line. We are one of the top company in India. We are the leading manufacturer in India, supplying globally. Since 2013, we have been exporting our solar panels to Europe, Africa, and we have started our first export to US market in 2015. So this is the journey about the company.
The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by Dinawatts. If you're a solar PV asset manager or performance engineer, you need better data and better business intelligence. With Dinawatts digital twin benchmarking technology, you get more accurate, efficient, and faster performance measurement results. The fourth generation Dino recently completed a technical review by DNV. You can download the report at dinawatts.com. That's DENOWATTS.com. Now back to the show. We're here with Bharat Bhut of Goldi Solar. He's the founder and director of an Indian solar panel manufacturing company. So what's going on in the Indian market, first and foremost? You know, we Americans are kind of obsessed with our own market because we have a good, it's a 30 gigawatt market now in the U.S., right? And I had the pleasure of interviewing the founder of Borrego, a gentleman named Mike Hall, who was a very early adopter. He started a company in 2002. At that time, we were doing 1 megawatt a year in 2002. So fast forward 21 years, we're now doing 30 gigawatts a year. So the market has exploded. But what's going on in Indian solar? Because most Americans don't hear that much about the Indian market. How big is it? You're one of how many solar panel makers, that kind of thing. And then let's talk about why you come to RE+. You've been coming to RE+ since 2015, you said. So you've been in the U.S. market now for 8 years, but you're not quite a household name yet. But what's going on in India?
Yeah, see, India market, if we talk about, I can take you to 10 years back, how the journey started in India market. When there was a national solar mission announced in India, and they have a set target of 20 gigawatt to be installed. So it was the first national solar mission where the government started offering PPAs under the solar energy. 2011-12, the story started from 2010. When we had the new government in 2014, they had very different approach on clean energy. They have changed the total, approach of the electricity, of the energy, and about the whole energy infrastructure. So with the new government, they announced, they re-announced the national solar mission, and they given the new target of 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. So renewable energy means the solar, wind, and some hydro. So with the big vision of deploying renewable energy, solar energy, and there was a more emphasis on Make in India. So on the demand side, they created a demand by deploying very strong policy. On the other side, on the manufacturing side, promoting Make in India, providing benefits, incentive to the manufacturer, and giving a protection to the manufacturer by having some of the tax protection on the import. Government policy and the vision of the government pushed Indian market from a 20 gigawatt to a larger to a very big target of 500 gigawatt. Current capacity, installed capacity in solar is somewhere around 67 gigawatt as of now in last 8 to 10 years. Government of India now currently more than 30 to 40 gigawatt of PPAs has been awarded every year. On other hand, the deployment of between 15 to 20 gigawatt panels has been deployed every year. So this is the number. The India market, I've given the bigger number of utility scale, that is the government PPA. If I talk about CNI segment, if I talk about the rooftop segment, CNI segment is a private companies, those who want to lower their energy cost. So that CNI segment market is more than 8 gigawatt, whereas the residential segment and the agriculture segment, there has been more than 250,000 solar water pump has been deployed in India in last 3 years. This year we have 160,000 solar water pump to be installed. As a company, Goldi Solar, we have installed more than 20,000 solar water pump for the farmers to pump the water for the irrigation.
So here in the U.S., Bharat, we often talk about like net zero goals, right?
Right.
Decarbonizing the economy,
Right.
and the Biden administration has really put a stake in the ground saying, we're going to clean the grid in the U.S. by 2050.
Right.
Right. And so what is going on in India, though, around decarbonization goals, and is like a renewable portfolio standard a tactic at all? You mentioned tax incentives. It sounds like there's some similar legislation happening
Right.
to our IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, right, which is incentivizing local manufacturing, for example, right? That's why we see so many solar and battery factories now being built in the United States. But what is the government's target for decarbonizing the economy in India?
Yes, see, in India there are two factors which is driving the solar energy. One factor is the need of electricity. There are certain areas, certain villages, or there are backward areas where there is a lack of electricity. There is a lack of 24 hours electricity. So one driving force is the necessity of electricity, and the solar is the cheapest form of the electricity at present. So the deployment of solar is for the necessity, for the need. Second is for the net zero decarbonization. So government is pushing corporates, banks, and the heavy polluting industries to have compulsory make their net zero policy. Banks have been given a mandate to fund to decarbonize the companies. So banks have a mandate to fund renewable energy projects. Earlier they were not keen to fund the projects, and government is incentivizing the residents. So there is a subsidy on residents, so they can 100% they can convert their electricity need. So there are some ways.
But is there a year goal for, you talked about 500 gigawatts of solar and wind being installed by 2030?
Yeah.
And what percent of the grid will be decarbonized when you achieve that goal? Is it 50%? Is it greater? Because like the United States, you're also a very fossil fuel rich country,
Right.
especially with coal, right? And so it's a double edge, right? You're developing still, right?
Right.
So fossil fuels have been a tremendous engine for development around the world and continues to be. But is India setting an explicit goal of sunsetting the use of fossil fuels?
This 500 gigawatt of renewable energy target is a very medium and short-term target, where our government already announced that by 2047 or 2050, there has been some years, they have set the years that India will be reach to a net zero. There will be no fossil fuel will be used to generate electricity.
Okay. So tell us more about Goldi. You're here at RE Plus, exhibiting your products. What type of products do you have on display? And you mentioned that you're manufacturing 4 gigawatts of panels now
Right.
a year.
Right.
What percentage of those are going to the Indian market, and what percentage are going to go to the U.S. market?
Yes, see, we are at RE Plus. The purpose is to provide or supply solar panels made in India with very good quality products. We are into business since last 60 years as a manufacturer of different products. And we started in 2011 with the solar panels, but our history is we are a manufacturer. So our manufacturing excellence, we are bringing it to the US, providing quality panels to serve the US market. Currently, we have displayed residential segment black modules 425 with the TopCon technology, which is a very latest technology. We have displayed the bifacial panels, which has been used into bigger power plants to serve the utility market. So these are the products. In India, we have been selling different kind of all these products. We have been serving the Indian market, but now we are entering. We have been supplying. From last 1 year, we have supplied more than 50 megawatt to the U.S. residential market.
So you've been supplying to the U.S. residential market, and now you're also going to start supplying to the utility market
Yes.
with a bifacial module. And
Yes.
what's the maximum wattage of a bifacial panel that you're making?
As of now, we are providing M10 with a 570 watt peak bifacial panels.
Okay. Yep. M10. That is a reference to the size of the cell.
Size
or?
of the cell, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 182 cell.
Got it. Well, what else should we know about Goldi? There are many solar panel companies, right? Do you participate in any of the verification and testing programs? Of course, you have to go through UL testing probably, but like PVEL or one of those analogous, PVEL is famous for their module reliability testing scorecard, or
Right.
module reliability scorecard. Tell us, how do you validate the product for the U.S. market?
Yes. See, to enter into US market, we need to have a very stringent quality parameters and certification. Last year, we obtained CEC, UL, and other like a fire test and the UL safety test parameters. So our all the panels are certified with all the certifications required under the US authorities. In addition to that, our company is certified with the DNV-GL bankability report. So we have obtained that report, and the DNV-GL audited our facility, and they certified us our company as a bankable. We have submitted before 6 months. We have submitted our panels for the reliability testing to the PVEL. So it's a 3 times IC. And there are more than 4 to 5 tests we have successfully passed. Within 2 months, we will have the final report, and the Goldi Solar will be on the list of, top performance list.
The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by CPS America, the maker of North America's #1 3-phase string inverter, with over 6 gigawatts shipped in the U.S. The CPS America product lineup includes 3-phase string inverters ranging from 25 to 275 kW. Their flagship inverter, the CPS 250-275, is designed to work with solar plants ranging from 2 megawatts to 2 gigawatts. The 250-275 pairs well with CPS America's exceptional data communication, controls, and energy storage solutions. Go to chintpowersystems.com to find out more. One of the conversations that I've been having is that solar module prices have recently collapsed.
Right.
You can buy solar modules now for maybe 25 cents a watt in some places. How does that affect your business, and what do you say to in that conversation? Like, what should developers and asset owners be aware of, in this circumstance?
See, solar business is very interesting business. We have seen the journey from last 11 years. Before COVID, solar business was, there was a price drop and there was a price rise, but it was very stable. We can predict or we can forecast. After the COVID, the world has been very uncertain in terms of the commodity. Majority of the material used into making a solar panels, they are commoditized. So silicon has been a major driving commodity. Aluminium, copper, the second price driving commodity for the solar panel. So in last 3 years, it is very uncertain. The price go down, price go up. My my take or my opinion on this one, on the price, is like, I would like to tell buyers that you contract with your suppliers in a floating prices, like some of the commodity price we can link with the exchange. If a customer want to have the bigger contracts, then the best way is to have the commodity price is open and the other price is fixed. So you have a stable price with less fluctuations, and you have a stable supply. For the small buyers, it is advisable to have a short-term approach while buying. But the bigger companies cannot have a short-term because they have to plan 2 years, 3 years in advance. So they have to have the open book contracts. Open book contracts are there are 60% of the cost is fixed, and 40% is floated linked with the metal prices. These are the very successful approach into bigger contracts.
And so when you think about the U.S. market, obviously you're making a major investment in coming to the U.S.,
Right.
coming to these shows. Do you go to other shows besides RE+?
Yeah, we do RE+, we do Intersolar North America in US. In the Europe, we do Intersolar Europe, and we do some local expos into Europe.
Okay. And you mentioned that you were selling 50 megawatts of residential product. I mean, what does success look like for you a year from now? How many megawatts of sales will you achieve in the US if you hit your targets?
Our plan to have around 600 megawatt panels to be deployed into US, and last year our capacity we increased this year. So the 4 gigawatt we want to divide that. We want to sell at least 600 megawatt to 1 gigawatt into US, and the rest capacity will be divided into Europe and India. This is
Yep.
what we have planned.
All right. Well, what else should we know? I am no expert on solar panels. We do talk about them pretty regularly on the show with my co-host John Weaver, who's much more of a geek for that technology. But as you mentioned, it is a commodity.
Right.
You're using the best of breed technology today, right? TopCon. So that's great. That gives us confidence that there's a real product there.
Right.
You're going through the DNV certification, getting that letter process right. So that gives developers and installers peace of mind that there's a quality product there. What else though should, I guess, when you're buying modules, one of the things that you buy for is a brand, right? Brands that have long-term recognition in the U.S. What differentiates Goldi from, a Trina or a Q-Cells or a Longi?
Yeah, very good question. See, quality, reliability, or excellence, these words, I feel these are the attitude. So if I want to make anything, so quality is attitude, manufacturing excellence is attitude. So when it comes to making a solar panels, everyone can make a solar panel. There are around 18 raw materials. You club together, you make a panel. So one panel is made with a similar material into one factory, into another factory. Both are different products. Why? I talk about how we differentiate with others. When we manufacture our panels, we choose a very good raw materials. Those raw materials are processed or they are examined into a laboratory before it goes to a production floor. While manufacturing, we have more than 15 checkpoints, quality checkpoints. We have a process analytical team. So we do process analysis while the manufacturing. We have controlled the ambient of the manufacturing floor. Every raw material matters into a solar panel. Every process matters in the quality and reliability of solar panels. Every temperature zone or ambience of the production floor matters a lot. So the solar panel is a bundle of many things. So manufacturing excellence comes raw material, processes, how you manufacture, what environment, what kind of skill set you have, what kind of technology you are deploying while manufacturing. So at Goldi Solar, we keep eye on all the segments. We have a 3I quality processes, 3I method. So this makes solar panel very robust or reliable panel. We control our production. We control we control the traceability of our raw material, our panel via MES software. We deployed MES software. We deployed a process analytics, many things. So that differentiate our panels with other. So it is all about the excellence. When you look at the solar panels, very simple. But when you see the manufacturing facility and the process control, it is how you manufacture.
So, one of the trends that we see is that Asian panel manufacturers are propping up factories in the United States.
Right.
Is that something that you would even consider?
Yes, we are considering that if we have a opportunity to be manufactured in US, we will certainly come to US.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when you think about the industry, do you have an aspirational peer? I mean, you said you got into solar around 2010, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been growing the company for 13 years. What does the future hold for Goldi? What are your ambitions?
We want to reach to a 10 gigawatt company with vertically integrated company into the energy space. So we are doing a backward integration into solar cell next year. We are ramping up our module production to 6 gigawatt by 2025. We will be entering into wafer manufacturing and later on into polysilicon. Because without a vertically integrated company to have such a big capacity of 10 gigawatt and more, any company will not survive if they are not vertically integrated. So if we see in the world, the majority of the companies into solar business space, they are more and more getting integration. They more and more getting integrated into backward, into forward. So as a Goldi Solar, we are growing both the sides. We are going a backward integration into forward integration. We already have a project company. We are currently eyeing at some storage, and future of the whole vertical integrated solar company is to enter into green hydrogen.
Is to enter into what?
Green hydrogen space.
Oh, green hydrogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole value chain of green energy or renewable energy, we are expanding in both ways. So as per my
Suggesting that you're gonna expand beyond solar panels?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon that you see solar companies that have inverters, even racking products, storage products. Hydrogen would be electrolyzers, right?
Right.
So, the Clean Power Hour is brought to you by DinoWatts. If you're a solar PV asset manager or performance engineer, you need better data and better business intelligence. With DinoWatts digital twin benchmarking technology, you get more accurate, efficient, and faster performance measurement results. The fourth generation Dino recently completed a technical review by DNV. You can download the report at dinowatts.com. That's DENOWATTS.com. Now back to the show. Well, is there anything else in our last minute or two together that you'd like our listeners to know?
yes. We have covered most of the things, but I would like to tell that into solar manufacturing, it is all about the quality, reliability, and manufacturing excellence. We are bringing our manufacturing excellence and expertise to the US market, and we are here for the long term. We have been always eyeing at a long term vision. Whatever we do, we come from a background where my grandfather and the chairman of our group, he started his business in 1964 by cutting and polishing of the diamond. So when we manufacture or we polish a diamond, we have to see very small thing. We have to be very perfect. We have to be very quality conscious. Then we can make any product. And diamond is all about trust, love, affection. So we come from a background where we don't only make a product, don't only sell the product, but also we bring the value system. We inculcated a value system into our manufacturing. We inculcated the value system into our supply chain. We value our suppliers equal to our customers, because our suppliers are our partners. We want to be with the good people. So whatever we make, whatever we do, whatever we communicate is all about very positive and good. So we make a very positive and a good aura that will bring a very positive business. Thank you.
You can find all of our content at cleanpowerhour.com. Please give us a rating and a review on Apple and Spotify. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I love hearing from my listeners. Check out our YouTube channel if you're not subscribed. We have a wonderful YouTube channel. All of our content is on video and audio platforms. And with that, how can our listeners find you, Bharat?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can type my name, Bharat Bhut, and Goldi Solar. You can find me on LinkedIn.
And the website is goldisolar.com?
Yeah, our website is www.goldisolar.com, where you can find our products, services, and about the company.
And that's goldi.com, goldisolar.com.
Yeah.
I'm Tim Montague. Let's grow solar and storage. Hey, listeners. This is Tim. I want to give a shout out to all of you. I do this for you twice a week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your time. I really appreciate you and what you're all about. You are part and parcel of the energy transition, whether you're an energy professional today or an aspiring energy professional. So thank you. I want to let you know that the Clean Power Hour has launched a listener survey, and it would mean so much to me if you would go to cleanpowerhour.com, click on the About Us link right there on the main navigation. That takes you to the About page, and you'll see a big graphic, Listener Survey. Just click on that graphic, and it takes just a couple of minutes. If you fill out the survey, I will send you a lovely baseball cap with our logo on it. The other thing I want our listeners to know is that this podcast is made possible by corporate sponsors. We have two wonderful sponsors today, Chin Power Systems, the leading three-phase string inverter manufacturer in North America, and Dynawatts, a performance monitoring platform for utility scale solar. So check out CPS America and Dynawatts. But we are very actively looking for additional support to make this show work. And you see here our media kit with all the sponsor benefits and statistics about the show. You know, we're dropping 2 episodes a week. We have now over 320,000 downloads on YouTube, and we're getting about 45,000 downloads per month. So this is a great way to bring your brand to our listeners. And our listeners are decision makers in clean energy. This includes project executives, engineers, finance, project management, and many other professionals who are making decisions about and developing, designing, installing, and making possible clean energy projects. So check out cleanpowerhour.com, both our listener survey on the About Us and our media kit, and become a sponsor today. Thank you so much. Let's grow solar and storage. The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by CPS America, the maker of North America's #1 three-phase string inverter, with over 6 gigawatts shipped in the U.S. The CPS America product lineup includes three-phase string inverters ranging from 25 to 275 kW. Their flagship inverter, the CPS 250-275, is designed to work with solar plants ranging from 2 megawatts to 2 gigawatts. The 250-275 pairs well with CPS America's exceptional data communication, controls, and energy storage solutions. Go to chinpowersystems.com to find out more.